and some change. Plotting. See that? Yeah. Oh yeah. Myself, my care. Yeah.
No, this is. I need these cans.
Ain't that crazy?
Ain't that crazy?
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
That maroon.
Yeah. That's that good shit. All right. So welcome back to another episode of If You Build It. It's your boy Juice. You get home safe. And I'm here with my friend Coop. Hey, what's up, Coop? Tell the folks you say hi.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey. So Coop, tell us who you are.
Oh.
She said, "Oh."
That was not the first question I was expecting. Okay, well, I am formally Coop, the creator.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a new name? Or is it still Coop the creator?
No,
So you're
presently... Oh, when I said formally, I meant the short version is Coop. The long version is Coop. I do things with my hands. Damn it, I just...
No, there's nothing wrong with that, though. That's why the cameras are set up like this.
I literally just noticed my hands went really, wow. Anyway, hello. So I think so happened. I am Coop the creator, Coop for short. But what do I do? A little bit of everything. I feel like the general big picture vibe is consulting. But if we want to get specific, public relations, image consulting, event coordination, social media strategist, writer, contributor, creative.
Define contributor. What's a contributor? Like, what makes a person a contributor?
It's just a fancy little professional term for someone who writes freelance. I'm not really tied to one publication or one company. I'm not tied to a news media outlet at all. I drop in, drop out type vibe. Contributor. I contribute,
Okay. So tell us about your role in the, what's the word I'm looking for? When you create something to bring something to life of Get Home Safe. You're good with words.
Like the initiation, the initial process, the beginning stages.
The inception of Get Home Safe.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
a good birth word.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say some shit like foreground, but I like inception.
No, foreground is dope though.
Yeah. I like inception.
Yeah.
So my introduction to the inception of Get Home Safe began with conversations with yours truly, with you, Juice. It started off some emotional vibes, things just discussing about what we wanted to do, how to help, how to improve, things we wanted to both be involved in. And I would just remember us having a conversation late one night, and you just told me you had this plan, this idea, and per usual, I was like, let's do it, let's get into it. And
I be sounding like a plotting ass nigga in everybody's stories.
You do. And I mean, even with, me just coming on professionally, it was a professional conversation. You let me know that we were going to have a talk. And so you set up a date and a time with me when we would have this conversation about how to get things rolling and what you would want my involvement to be. The first thing you asked me was, what can I do? And
that's an important question that not enough people ask.
Yeah, and I had the same reaction I had just now when you asked me, what do I do? And, I do a lot of things. I can do a little bit of everything. And, you let me know that the social media part was important for you, building the following. And I'll let you know that I could do that for you. I'll let you know that I could develop the social media following for you and the brand itself. And yeah, it started with me having word vomit and word diarrhea and letting you know, like, oh my God, we can plan these type of events. We can do this and we can do that and we can do this. And you was like, listen, I'm writing this down in my notes.
You know what's funny about you mentioning this, and I never thought about that before? You developed the social media for Under the Table, which was originally my original first idea I wanted to bring to life. And then I was going to put everything Get Home Safe there. And then, I looked at the room, and I was like, oh, this is not a good fit for what I've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny because I think a lot of people's like, well, if people are in the room, this is going to be a good fit for them. And it's like, nah, not everybody in the room is a good fit. Sometimes you got to like start over and start from scratch and be like, okay, we get to start from one and then work our way up. Do you have the patience to do this over again?
You definitely have to make the decision of separating those brands. You definitely had to make that decision, and I think it's a great decision. I mean, of course, initially the idea was, oh, it's going to be an umbrella, but we had a conversation because everything stems from a conversation. You know, we realized what we wanted to do and how we wanted it to move, and I think you realized like under the table as a business, as a company, was something different from the grassroots movement that Get Home Safe was being born into. Because whenever anybody asks me about Get Home Safe, I always say it's a grassroots movement every time. So, and I think that that's different from a production company. You know what I'm saying? Which is what you wanted Under the Table to also function to be at one point. So. Yeah, man.
So tell us about the importance of photo shoots, because you're the one who was like, look, Juice, we're going to do these photo shoots. And then after I did a photo shoot, you was like, okay, let's do this again. We're going to do these photo shoots with these particular photographers. And this is why. Let's, let's get into that box.
Listen, my pressure that I put on you to do these photo shoots is, I feel like it's important because people need to see you. They need to see what you're doing. And they need to see it in a beautiful way, in good lighting. Clarity is important. Staging is important. Making sure the poses and the smiles matter. Making sure it looks good and that it feels good. Like, I feel that photo shoots capture essence, energy, and they radiate that too. So I feel like, if you're selling something, a product, whatever you're selling, a great photo shoot needs to capture that. And I feel that working with, no tea, no shade, the top-notch good photographers in the area and the city also propels you, because when you work with good people and you're able to have time with good people in that intimate setting, in that intimate moment with good people, they're going to talk about you when you leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe in first impressions. I believe in imprinting on people. I believe that, amongst doing our photo shoots, we've left good impressions on people. People like what we do because we're doing something good. It's not, again, no tea, no shade. It's not that we're promoting your typical rap album talking about the streets, the corner, and we've got rented guns or whatever have you. We're doing something that was different, that was exciting, that people actually wanted to know about, versus trying to sell them on something and hoping that they'll fuck with it or they'll want to be a part of it. Like, nah, it was like, this is what we're doing. These are the steps that we've taken. This is what it looks like. Here's the products. Here's the proof. Here's the people that's working on this tirelessly and behind the scenes or whatever have you. And people will be like, from my experience, people have been like, oh, well, yeah, I love this. I'm going to share this with people that I know. I'm going to share this with friends. I know some young people who might be interested in, speaking to a therapist. So it's really nice that you created a safe space for them to show up and socialize, mingle, and possibly make new friends. So that's what I think the importance of photo shoots are, because like I said, like when you work with top-notch people, locally known, local famous people, it's a great way to get your name out there. I feel like it was a great way to get our name out there because we got great photos. We got to meet amazing artists, photographers themselves. And I feel like because we brought such a great energy, they wouldn't have a problem if they did work with somebody else who might have been talking to them, and who knows, their next muse or their next subject could be like, damn, I'm having a bad day, or I'm in between therapists right now. Oh, well, I did a photo shoot with Get Home Safe. I worked with these people. I worked with Juice, and he had a therapist with him. His name was Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really great people, and then they have such a loud, interesting energy, and that's Coop. Like, they're great people. You should reach out to them. Like, word of mouth is so important. And I feel like amongst us doing these photo shoots, it just gives us that. It gives us that word of mouth. A good story to be told to somebody else.
What would you say your favorite photo shoot was that we did together?
Man,
We had a lot of good moments.
They're so fun. Because let me tell you something. Ain't nothing like you come to a photo shoot and there's M&M's. There's mini bite-sized Kit Kats. There's Riesling. Okay. Keep it classy, okay? Or, you know, Juice might pull a Babe Rosé out of his backpack. You never know. I don't know. Whenever we've had that, that's been my favorite. But I feel as though I think my favorite one was probably the black t-shirt. Hype Me Up. I really enjoyed that because we was goofing and we was having a good time, and like I love the fact that actual natural smiles and laughter was captured. Yeah, I
the jokes were slapping.
Yeah, like it was a really fun day. And also I think like maybe I think our first photo shoot as a family, as a team, as a squad was a good one. It was like me, you, and Ryan, and we were just doing photos for the first taco event.
And we were figuring it out.
Literally figuring it out that day because your girl broke 3 nails that day, and nails was bloody as shit. Like I broke them real nasty.
You know what's fascinating about that photo? We didn't do it for the taco event. We were trying to figure out a look to a brand that didn't have a name yet, since we're Mental Health Monday, and you were like, "Yo, we got to do these photo shoots.
We need content."
And that's when I had an obsession over the You Matter hoodies. Because you remember my story, I think I only said this to you, was if I got her a hoodie, that would have made a big difference.
Yeah.
And since I couldn't get her a hoodie and I had these assortment of hoodies, I was like, let's do a photo shoot in these You Matter hoodies.
Yeah.
And I Love Myself shirts.
Yeah.
But then, like, that was, not only was that the dopest visual photo shoot we did, I think 3 years later, and I joke around about this, I was telling Dub that I plan on redoing the shoot that we did together with different people, but I want us to like pay homage to how we started, because now I have an actual clothing brand and the messaging is correct and it's mine and built from scratch. And he was like, well, how are they going to feel about it? I was like, oh, they did the first one. That's their feelings. Like, we started that. So, like, everyone after that is their kids.
Exactly. Especially the Speak No Evil pose that we did. I think that is one of the most iconic moments that we've had for a photo shoot, just because, you know, people with depression and anxiety don't always speak. You don't always can see it.
You can't always hear what's going on around
you.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of the most iconic, even though the background behind it, again, me breaking like 3 nails to get this shoot was the absolute most horrific, wild thing. But like, it doesn't
Dio
look
did a
like
great job, though. Dio did a great job. He did a great job of getting your angles. I remember specifically, to me, the photo that stood out the most was you and Ryan fighting over the You Matter hoodie.
Right. There was props. I mean, I was on a ladder. I was on a ladder. Okay. I'm giving you photo shoot realness. I climbed something to get that shoot, to get that shot, excuse me. So, yeah, I definitely feel like that was, because it was a content shot. It really was. And I think that was something. Like, the purpose was face value. And then, you know, we're working on something, we're building something. And, like, I was really big on you showing your face as well, because this is your project, this is your baby.
And I like to show my face.
Right, exactly. So we had to put that beautiful smile, you know, on brand. And, you know, Ryan came through with the glorious educated therapist beard.
That beard he had.
You know what I'm saying? Letting
crazy.
You know, I'm a man with wisdom. Look at my beard.
Yeah. Dead ass.
So, that's probably one of my favorites. Was that one. The first one for sure. Because, like, we literally were just like, all right.
We didn't coordinate our colors. We didn't know what colors we were going to be wearing. Like, we knew the hoodies we might be wearing, and we had an idea of the shirts, but we never sat down with each other and was like, we should put these colors together because they will pop more. Yeah. So for that shoot to pop the way it did is crazy. Because, like, I look back at it sometimes and I'm like, wow, how did we get this right?
And then on top of it, we also put on Ryan's brand, Love Your Mind, which I thought was cool too. So we was
we had real tie-ins. We had real tie-ins.
Definitely plug-in.
We were associated and actually owned 2 out of the 3 brands that were advertised. And I think what a lot of folks don't realize is we didn't mind carrying brands that we didn't own. Because to us, we were like, well, these things and these messages represent something. So what's the issue with doing a photo shoot, even though we don't own it, letting folks know, hey, you can find this particular thing here.
Exactly. And then on top of it, I think you also wore a Size Game Love Your Mind shirt. Shirt as well. So
yeah.
I mean,
and what's ironic is that shirt was the catalyst for the next photo shoot in terms of the hype me up, because it was like, all right, Size Game was Love Yourself or Self-Love. It was one of those 2, right? But then like the hype me up, that was next year. And those were planned separately. So the Size Game shirt was a collab between Ryan and Bronson. Size Game. And I'm Size Game too, but owner of Get Home Safe. And that time we just named Get Home Safe because it was my birthday. And then we did a photo shoot. And what's funny about not knowing the right thing to do is like, you just shooting in the dark. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, we didn't have a plan. We're like, oh, we're going to do these 7 events in February. And then we got my birthday in March. And then it's going to be lit. But then we got to April, May. And niggas like, man, we kind of tired, bro.
Tired.
We kind of tired, boss. We got all these events we did and photo shoots.
A spring break at home safe still was working. So, we're not going to say we didn't have a plan, because you definitely had a plan. But it was just... But there was so much we weren't
plotted
do.
out. We weren't plotted out. We had ideas, and we're like, I bet let's do it. And I would look at my budget and be like, all right, let's blow this money. Yeah. It's like, yo, are you sure? I'm like, oh, we look good though.
Right, like we look good. People are having a good time. The vibe in this city was loving it. The love was real. So yeah, it was definitely being talked about.
Okay, so
and I think that was what was important.
Tell me the importance of a brand.
Oh man. I feel like it's extremely important because, like, of course, a lot of people are always like, well, I don't know what I want or who I am. And honestly, that's a personal problem. At the end of the day, I feel like you can be a lot of different things, but you got to know you are all of these things. And I feel like it's important to communicate and effectively demonstrate what you are. For example, like on my Instagram, on all my social media, it says I do everything. It says I do a lot of things. But you can see I do a lot of things. I have links for you to show that I'm a writer. I got links to show you about these events that we do. You know, I got, you know what I'm saying, photos from said events, videos from said events. Like, the shit that I talk about that say that I can do or that I've done, you can see it. And I feel like that's all part of your brand. I don't think that your brand is just inspirational quotes, you know, headshots. I feel like your brand is people seeing you in the streets doing the work, doing what you do, getting, you know, that B-roll, you know, those behind the scenes. I feel like all that matters to the brand. Because a lot of people, like, niggas, that are, you know, that they can see the work, that they can see you doing what you say you're doing. Even if it's just like, if you make t-shirts, let's say you do a 5-second clip at the shortest of you just ironing your logo on your shirts. That's your brand. If that's what you do, that's who you are, that's what it is. I feel like that's important. That needs to be seen. People need to see that you love what you do. People need to see that you enjoy the things that you're putting together. So, I don't know. I'm just really into branding and relatability in your branding. You know, there's a plethora, multifarious ways, SAT words, kids get into it, of getting things done. Like, you can do things so many different ways and they can be right for you and what you got going on.
The other side of that coin is you can do things so many different ways and it can be wrong.
That's true too.
And you could be wrong in confidence and just going in the wrong direction.
You really can be loud and wrong, for sure.
Yes.
But that's why you call me.
Yeah. So what did you learn within your experience of being with Get Home Safe when you were a part of the formation of?
I learned that communication is really important. I feel like you gotta communicate, you gotta speak up.
Give us an example. You can tell personal stories, no names. Because we got stories. I was like, nah, it's very important that when people leave something or you bring folks back, for them to have a voice, that they're allowed to say whatever they need to say.
Yeah. Wow. There's just a lot of stories that are coming to my mind. So it's just
give us your top two.
Stop. And then you do that. You
no,
think it narrows it.
We could walk through
the
top two
narrow. Though. I just need to choose something because like I see in picture, so I just
let's talk about a good story. Actually, not a good story. Let's talk about a story from the beginning that has to do with communication, and a story from the end that has to do with communication.
Damn it, Daniel. Okay. Ask the question
again. When it comes to communication, tell me a story about a communication that you came across in your get home safe experience.
Okay.
This is funny. The Mr. Roboto.
Oh, okay. I think I have one. All right. So, where was we at though?
Give us context. Build the story first. Build the scene.
I'm trying. Was it do I want to set it at the fridge or do I want to set it at Big Cheese?
Is this our very first event?
I know it was early shit, but I was
Was the room dark or light? Because for the fridge event, you showed up in the pink You Matter hoodie.
Right.
I remember that because I took a photo of you and Ryan together that day in front of the art.
Right.
And the fridge event, that was the darker event at Big Chief. We had the fridge. That was the very first one. That was the Hype Me Up release.
Okay.
At Big Chief.
Boom. Fuck all that. This spring break jump, the impromptu. I don't even want to call it impromptu, but I remember people was going upstairs to get food. I think Chef Bundy was catering. I don't want to say the wrong name.
No,
because I'm trying to get my memories together.
I'm trying to remember. When you say spring joint, like what month was this?
It was definitely an April vibe. I remember I was wearing the Amateur Mente shirt. Yeah, like it was.
Was that at Velvet?
It was at Velvet because I remember niggas was sitting outside and it was
we did two events with Bundy. We did my birthday, which is the one that is highlighted the most. But then we had the Velvet party a week or two later.
Yeah, that was so communication was important for that one because if my memory serves me correctly, we was missing some niggas.
Yes,
we was missing people.
We was missing some
niggas. And then also it was a concern about capacity. And so I was like, oh shit, like, we know we did the advertisements on Instagram, but like I remember I was on Twitter like hyping it up, like trying to get more people to pull up that day. And I remember there was products being sold in the back to the side. There was CBD nuggets.
JB had CBD nuggets for sale in the back.
I recall that. And then I remember, like, do we open up the patio? Is we cool? Like, would we, like, how do we want to flaunt the flow?
The room packed out? Are we
right. Like, did we want it intimate? Right. So I remember the vibes was set though. Like, there was no issue of no type of vibes. Like, the DJs and everything was boom, set, ready. Marvel. Cricket.
It was Marvel. That weekend,
or was it
we had Marvel
Corey
and
Campbell?
Corey. It was both of them. Marvel and Corey. Those were the two DJs I had spending that day for that mental health event.
It's coming back to me. I wish I had a crystal ball because I would be like this. It's coming back to me now. I'm remembering as my imaginary crystal ball. But like communication was really, really important because I feel like I remember people was late.
People came 2 hours late after we started the event.
I think I was people. Hello, nice to meet me. How you doing?
And it was on a Sunday.
It was, but and also in terms of communication, I feel like we was like texting people, like, yeah, we're here, we're doing it, because I think people were concerned about rain or something. I feel like that's what they're concerned. I could tell
this story. I remember it now. Like, so here's the lesson that I learned in this story, which is hilarious. There's only so much money people are gonna spend on you. So the issue wasn't the rain. The issue was, Juice, we just supported you for your birthday for the Get Home Safe event. And then it's like, so you're telling us to come back and spend money on you 2 weeks later to pay to get into Velvet on a Sunday and then have to pay for food and then have to pay for drinks. Mm-hmm. And that's when you realize, oh, I can't do things at my establishment if people have to pay for it because they associate one experience and it's going to clash with another experience, and this is why you have to keep your brands separate.
Yeah.
Because the issue wasn't that folks didn't want to come. The issue was people didn't want to come and pay way more money than they were accustomed to paying at that location.
Yeah. And then also behind the scenes, it was like we had like 11 million people who wanted to shoot it. Mm-hmm. Like so many people wanted to do the photography. So many people wanted to come up and do photos. And it was just like, I think, okay, well, who are we going to pay versus the people who really just want to come and be involved in it?
Well, that experience was also annoying for us behind the scene because the people who wanted to pull up and take photos and record were people that we talked to about doing business before back in the day who were technically giving us the cold shoulder. And then when we built momentum, when we got popping, when it became interesting, and the work we were doing became a talking point, that was when people wanted to, oh, can I pull up at work? Can I do stuff with you? Can I
brought my camera.
Yeah.
We enact you.
Yeah. And it got awkward because then there was this expectation where people were like, so am I getting paid for this? And it's like, bro, no one told you to show up.
You volunteered. So
yeah. And it's like, we do appreciate the sentiment, but when we asked you to do something before, this energy and love wasn't there.
It wasn't.
And we had to find ways to word that without being rude because we were figuring out, if you own a mental health brand, can you curse people out or do you have to be patient?
Yeah, so I feel like that situation was, learning to, because, I'm listen, sang-froid is tatted on my body. And sang-froid means to maintain one's composure. Another good SAT word. It could be said sang-froid, or if you want to be, proper and say it the French way, it's sang-froid. But I feel like, versus it being a lesson, I feel like it was more so one of those tool sharpening moments. Because it was like, I was concerned about people coming in, and I was concerned about us packing it out. And I don't really think you were worried about that. I think you were just like, hey, we set the date. We have an event. This is what we're selling. We're going to do our jobs. We're here.
I'm very good for the buck stops here decisions.
Yeah, we're here.
You know what? I came to realize also, people pay attention to me way more than I thought.
Yeah.
So if I was at the bar and I was bored, people who weren't us in our team were like, oh, something's wrong. Juice is bored. But I was like, but I threw the event for you guys. Right. But everyone who showed up was like, yeah, but we showed up for you.
And people also don't know that you were working, too. While working. You were working on working. Just I have stepped up to be like the, hello, what do you need? How may I help you? Great to see you. Glad you're here. Welcome back. And you were more so like, okay, so she said hashtags and tweeting. I'm going to hashtag and tweet. I'm going to be over here trying to get photos and take photos of my friends and the people that are here. Because you're all our friends when you guys pull up on us.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Yeah.
But I feel like, that was when, because I think we were also in the stages of picking and choosing who was going to work the room. I think that was another situation too. If my memory serves me correctly, I think that was one of the situations where it was just me and you. Ryan wasn't present, I don't think.
He came later, and in him coming later, we didn't realize that our friend that we were doing work with actually was really, really, really uncomfortable with doing public events.
Right.
And that's when we came across the realization, oh shit, one of the niggas that started this with us may not be built for particular things that we do. Yeah. Not because they don't want to, because it really is just uncomfortable. Yeah. And their awkwardness is, hey, let me sip on something. Yeah. And we're like, oh, okay, that's an anxiety moment. Yeah. We get it.
I think we also learned that
too. We were learning. Yeah.
And I think that's when you wanted to establish okay, we're going to work in teams and groups.
Yeah.
Like, we going to rotate.
Like, you do this, and you do this.
We're going to rotate who going to be the face and who's going to be comfortable with just like, hey, I did put in work, but I'm not going to be a face.
Yeah.
You're not getting face card or face value from me at this point.
Yeah.
I think that was one of those moments. So
that was fascinating.
It was. And so, like,
and
again,
also that was not communicated to us. We had to bring it up.
At the time,
and
it wasn't.
then it became a talking point after we brought it up. So we also learned when it came to communication that sometimes we have to push the envelope for the topic to be touched.
Yeah. And I think it was, I think it was learning... I think it was also learning everyone's, like, seeing our own individual freakouts. Because, like, that day, I was like, oh, my God, like, I have to get you people. I have to bring you people. Like, I was freaking out about that. But you weren't really on my level of the anxiety and the freakout. My freakout was my own. My anxiety wasn't my own for that.
My concern was I got to make sure everyone's drinks are nice. And... because Velvet is a darker establishment and you're doing a day party, the establishment itself is lit differently because the sun that's coming from outside in clashes with the day party vibe because the black and red walls absorb light. So how do you make a dark space in the daytime friendly and comfortable for the average person?
Yeah, a lot of door opening.
Yeah, that Nature pulled up. He rolled one, cracked jokes. Nature is always going to be good for rolling one and cracking jokes.
Yeah.
We were really attractive that day. Like, everyone in the building was attractive. Evelyn was there. I think that was the first time I peeped Evelyn. I was like, okay, Evelyn. I was like, I see you.
Yeah.
This little mini-me ass nigga.
I let her throw ass on me.
Yeah.
It was her birthday.
It was her birthday.
Wow.
It was her birthday. Yeah, that was one of her birthday celebrations because they had the event at Cloak and Dagger. Yeah. And then the next day she came through and got obliterated and got in an Uber, which was great.
Yeah. I just also remember, like, people being intrigued about the CBD products that were available. And
the legality of if it could be sold here.
Right.
Oh,
man.
What I'll say is I think we broached a lot of different topics and barriers that day because when people come to a Get Home Safe event, and we weren't thinking about this, we were allowing a lot of different things in spaces that they usually weren't allowed. And a lot of legality talk became people started asking us, hey, are we allowed to do this or that if we go to other places? Yeah.
And also, I think that was, for me...
SAT word broached. Just thought about it.
I don't know. I think back to, because, you used to throw me to the wolves.
Who, me?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, but the wolves were more puppies, but they look like wolves. So I think you had from your past experience, you had this is who these people are outlook, which wasn't wrong. But then I was like, yeah, but they can also be this thing. And you were like, no. And then I tossed you, and I was like, oh.
The hostessing vibe, like, work the room, Coop, go work the room. Okay. Like, that was that situation.
This isn't bad.
I vividly remember eating mac and cheese and throwing ass.
But the reason that I had you doing that is after we did the photo shoot, I wanted everyone to build a separate personality from Get Home Safe. It is. That's important. When you remember when I first started this, I was like, we need to all do work separately because the day someone stops working and the day everyone sees someone continuously work, people will start to question, hey, is this person a part of the thing or were they just helping?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what a brand is. A brand is the action behind it.
Yeah.
So it's the declaration. A brand is the declaration, the action, and then the proof of concept. That's what a brand is in 3 steps.
Yeah. I agree with that. I do. For sure.
That's a great breakdown.
It is. I definitely agree. I also I think that event overall was a big lesson because we learned to work individually. We learned to work when the situation was like, at first we were comfortable with it being us 3. It was us 3. And then there were situations where it was like, okay, it might be a man down, it might be just us 2, or we might just need to take on different roles and jobs. Yeah. And I think that was one of the lessons I learned there. Because, I while I know you're always gonna look out for me, but I'm the person that's like, okay, I'm gonna wait until the guests themselves go, and then I'm gonna go. And you were not gonna let that. You were like, listen, you work the room, but you also go upstairs and you get something to eat, and you can still work the room. So yeah, like I think it was great.
Self-care was not great that time. So I became aware. I was like, oh, this nigga, she don't eat. She don't. Oh,
it wasn't.
She showers and looks good, but she doesn't hydrate. Oh,
right.
Okay.
Don't hydrate. Don't have a juice.
So we're bad bitches together, but one of us is starving. Okay. Bad.
No snack. Like, go get a snack. So yeah, I think that was one of those situations where, yeah, I think that was that. And then the learning tool of, all right, yeah. I know I'd be stuck on work, but
though. It did help the friendship. That was big for our friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without a doubt, that was definitely big for our friendship.
It was definitely a multi-hat tool sharpening moment for me. I want to say that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a multi-hat wearing, because again, like I thought I was gonna sit in the corner. I'm going like, all right, just make sure everything's cool. Like I'm just making sure everything's good.
You know what it was? That was your first time that whoever you worked with actually wanted you to like become a star of sorts instead of just, all right, help me and then go chill somewhere.
Right, be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were like, yeah, just go work the room, Coop. I'm serving drinks, and I was like,
a lot of your PR experience before me, though, if you want to speak on that or not, was, all right, you have this particular job, you don't need to talk anymore.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, no, if you work with or for me, you do your job, and then people get to know who you are, so they get to fall in love with you outside of just what you've done for me.
Yeah, because you definitely have me speaking to people like, oh yeah, this is Coop. She does the PR. She's this person. You should talk to her. And I was like, the Chris Pratt's face? With Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec, where he was like, me? Really? I get to say more than just welcome? Oh my God. I have to show up. I have personality. I get to schmooze and talk to people, rub elbows. Like, hello. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Hello. Yes. You have questions, I have answers. And I can direct you to where you need to go.
Yeah.
CBD's back here, food's over there. You know? Crazy. Like, yeah. So that was when I was like, I felt like a, you know, the, you know, what is it? The people with the...
Oh, you mean the ones who tell people what direction to go to? I don't think I ever knew their names. I just
but I was that
person. Yeah.
I was like
the crosswalk person.
Yes, I was that. That was me.
Yeah.
Yes. I help you get across safely.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I love the lavender. We all know this is my favorite color here. You know, it's very soft.
Speak on it. You release. Okay. Yeah, you like that? You like that? Yeah. Call that one Hershey's, like the Swisses. Yeah. Ooh, we into it. All right, so let's skip the whole middle. Actually, let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
Thanksgiving. That was tell us about your part in the Thanksgiving event that I did for Get Home Safe.
At Velvet?
Yeah.
Another Velvet. Yeah. Okay, because I thought we were gonna go to cheap, but I got you.
I wanted to, but I was like, nah, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because no one was doing it. I set the standard for doing parties on Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. Okay. So.
Because people saw there was a market there.
Yeah, I think the Get Home Safe on Thanksgiving was.
What year was this?
Oh shit me.
2019.
Shit me.
2019 because that was our first year. It was 2019.
Was it?
Yeah, 2019. That was the first year that I allowed myself to just do like whatever I wanted to do. I was like, nah, fuck it, let's go.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
The world shut down.
Yeah. Damn, Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well.
Did a lot in 2019.
Did a lot of shit.
Yeah, a lot in 2019.
Like I feel like 2018 was like the precedent before. Like I feel like we was doing a lot of like content creation and plotting and trial and error of things, and like we were having events and stuff, but like wow.
No, actually I got that wrong. 2018 is when we did the event for Thanksgiving because we were working on Under the Table and Snacks, and because of the concept of snacks, I wanted to feed people for Thanksgiving, and we did that.
No, I think it was 2019.
Yeah, 2019. Nah, 2018. Because 2019
we had the Thanksgiving.
We did another one in 2019, but it wasn't as big. 2018 was big, and it was packed out full of people. 2019, I did the food, and not that many people showed up because the city of DC had multiple Thanksgiving events. Because that's when the city was open. 2019, we had the photography high. We had the under the table. We did the fashion pop up with Nikki Hendrix. We did.
That was not 2019. No, it wasn't.
No, I said 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said 2018. Not 2018 was Nikki Hendrix. 2018, we also did the fashion joint upstairs. We had the collab party of like our fashion joint upstairs with the construction tape and everything.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm fucking tired.
No, you're good. You're good. And then on the bottom floor, I think we had Catch a Vibe was going on that night. It was like a lot of momentum, right? But then I was like, what are we building this up for? And then I was like, nah, let's do Get Home Safe. Well, let's do Mental Health Monday. And then March was like, all right, let's do Get Home Safe.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of story. That's a lot of story because it's like this chapter is like you and I worked together before working together.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we did a show together before actually like what my passion project was.
Yeah. Definitely.
And we have shirts.
We do.
We have shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But yeah, tell us about Thanksgiving. Do you want to talk about the second Thanksgiving or no, they can see you. Do you want to talk about the second Thanksgiving or the first Thanksgiving? Because those were two different worlds for you personally.
Okay, so see, the thing is, I'm trying to remember everything because we've done a lot of shit, and my timeline is one big.
You bring it up, I can fill it in.
Okay, so if we're gonna talk about the Thanksgiving Get Home Safe,
I'll be honest.
Okay,
I'll be very honest with you. Like I don't need to sugarcoat the experience. I won't.
Okay, so like, let's talk about the one I remember, and then you guide me, because I remember two different things, but it still might come all together. So you might have to help me separate.
Argument the night that you showed up for the Get Home Safe Thanksgiving.
Okay,
that was when folks wanted to pull you to the side to have conversations.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't gotta speak on that.
But it was wild. It's like I remember certain things because of who I was with. And so I'm like, is it that one? Or are we not talking about who I was with that Thanksgiving, if that makes sense?
We don't have to talk about who you were with. We're talking
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I remember two.
It was who you were with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
But it's about the experience.
Right. So I remember one, and I remember a collab. The collab is coming to mind. Are we discussing a collab that we did for Thanksgiving? Or are we not discussing that collab?
Let's discuss the collab. Because that's good for business. No, folks need to hear how you do business.
Yeah. Okay.
Who was the collab? The hyperventilating right now.
Because I'm just trying to figure out, like, should I say it? Do I not? Okay, so are we talking about the Thanksgiving where it was where we cooked, we brought food, like we brought love that day, like we were kind enough to feed.
We brought love and people didn't show up.
Okay, so we're talking about the day where Coop made mac and cheese. Is that what we're talking? All right, boom. I'm rolling with it now. I know what we're on. Okay, so the wheels are turning. I'm having memories. Okay, let's get into. Okay, so I do remember this Get Home Safe at Velvet on Thanksgiving. I remember we were like, yeah, like people really fuck with having a place to go. You know what I'm saying? Some people really need to be around other families. Some people need to be away from their irky ass family.
I was also running away from sadness.
Some people like just wanted to be around good vibes and friends. And like I do remember it was cider. I remember that. I remember there was mac and cheese. I remember food was supposed to be on the way, and
it was also messy because there were folks who were showing up early for relations, but then they were bringing Twitter niggas too, so I had to handle things.
Yeah.
And then I think I came to realize that I need to be careful of who I date or who I give my time to, because just because you build something that you like and that's good for the people doesn't mean the people who date you are interested in you.
In what you do.
Are going to be carrying it to the same effect of protecting what you've built and why it matters. And people will put you in awkward positions if you let them. Yeah. Also,
but didn't we have a because again,
we had
like
peach cobbler.
We
had
did
peach cobbler. We had pans of chicken. We had mac and cheese. And what was disappointing about the event, let's talk about the pros and cons of the event. The pro was we brought the food and we let people know, hey, we'll have food. The con was it was cold as fuck outside. That's number one. Number two, not that many people showed up. I think I opened the doors and we had about 50 people show up all together compared to the year before. The year before, we had about 192 people show up in the last hour.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what was risky about that situation was I came to realize, because you were handling a whole separate boat of things that night, all right, if we do something special, do people want special for us, or do they just want us to, like, give them joy and leave?
Right.
So, like, niggas might not want food. People may just want to be like, well, you're doing get home safe things. You guys bring the therapist to the function, and we like what you do, so how about you just keep it there? And we didn't realize the importance of, if you put something out there, you have to build people that will appreciate the thing that you're doing, or it'll fall flat.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
It's good. It's a good breakdown, because, like, it makes you, like, look back and say, you know what? Yeah.
I mean, but also I do remember that we were doing a collab with Untitled Podcast, weren't we? One of the Thanksgivings.
I did the event, and
that was the second. I think that was the most recent Thanksgiving. They were supposed to collab with us,
but they showed up because Elijah and Rayshawn, they got caught up with the family.
Right.
And when they got caught up with the family, they showed up in, like, the last hour.
Yeah.
But a couple of their friends did show up, though. What I will say.
But we were supposed to be doing that with them, right? It was supposed to be like a breaking bread situation, because I do remember a
back and forth. It was supposed to be a showmanship thing,
right,
between both of us,
right? Because I remember, you know, there was supposed to be something about working and doing something for the community, feeding the community, or whatever have you. I remember that's what the conversation was.
But what they did was they came to show up and show out the weekend before, when we did the podcast together, when we had the PB&Js. You remember what the PB&Js were?
I do.
The peanut chews and the bottle of grape wine.
I was so fucking hungry.
It was starving, bro.
I'm like, bro, we talking about Thanksgiving, and let me tell you.
Oh my God.
I was hungry.
I forgot about that.
I thought there was gonna be sandwiches, nigga.
Yeah, they was like, yo, we gonna come through, we gonna bring food, niggas gonna eat well, we gonna make sure you guys are fed. This is gonna be a great episode of Snacks. They showed up with peanut chews and grape wine, and we were starving because we purposely didn't eat food, since they said they were bringing food.
I thought it was gonna be food. I expected
we believed in our friends. There's no other way to say that. We believed in our friends.
Bro, when I tell you I was hungry.
We were starving.
Hungry, okay?
We were starving.
Listen, that's a story. But yeah, so Thanksgiving though, I just remember. Yeah, Thanksgiving. With Thanksgiving, I remember that, like, we were going to feed the people. We wanted to feed the people, and people were expected to bring dishes, and so people came late with dishes, or they didn't bring dishes.
My friend Abby, she brought a dish. She brought 2 pies.
Yes.
Yeah, she brought 2 pies.
Yes.
Still friends to this day. To this day.
Let me tell you something. Breaking bread, Thanksgiving, it don't get no better. But yeah, and I do remember the first Thanksgiving, because I was like, oh, this is a vibe. Like, you know, we wanted to be around loved ones and friends. We wanted to feed each other, feed our loved ones and friends. And also, again, the cider.
The homemade cider.
There was homemade cider.
That just be making.
Hello.
His kitchen.
And it was warm.
Warm.
If you got there early enough, it was warm.
It was
okay.
Warm.
So I do recall that. And then, but at the second one, didn't somebody like? I feel like somebody tried to like take the cider, right?
Yeah, someone tried to steal the cider. Yeah, they tried to steal the cider from me.
Like, I remember that, and I was just like,
yeah, is it ever that serious?
Come on.
Yeah,
what are we doing here? Come on. Yeah.
For them, yes, it was that serious.
Wow. Thanksgiving. Wow. So yeah, that was just, if my memory also serves me correctly, that was just for me and you. As well.
For the second one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we had a year and a half.
I'm old. This is what happens when I turn 30. I don't
under our belt of Get Home Safe. We had 2 years together. It's like dating. We had like 2 years together because we started Snacks together in like May, April of 2018 in terms of working on shows. And then my toxic habit was I wanted to just get lost at work. I didn't want to do shit but work.
Yeah. For you, it was just like work.
I was like anything to get away from the pain. I was like, oh, can I get away from the pain? Let's work.
So we got this happy hour, we got this event, we got this. And it was like, oh, okay, cool, let's get it done.
Damn, this nigga got morphine in his blood? The fuck's going on here? I was like, yeah, that's that work, nigga.
Yeah. I think my thing was just like, I was just always down to do whatever.
Because I made shit fun.
Yeah, and it was fun, and it was a good time, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the end of your Get Home Safe trip in the summer. You saying "oh" now, but I still say that you and Ryan, you guys made the right decisions for yourself.
I mean,
seriously, you would be more peeved if your friend up and disappeared compared to, all right, man, life is coming at me fast, and honestly, I need a break. It's not you, it's us.
Listen.
And that's probably one of the, that was one of the craziest statements I ever heard, but it made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, no, this is a lot. There's a lot. When you're someone who's talented or good at something, it's very easy to get lost in the process of what you can do and not, am I okay in doing this?
Yeah. I think one of my things is that I was like, I was just willing and okay with doing whatever needed to be done. But then it was like, when we had that advertisement situation on Twitter. Bruh.
Your anxiety, the way that it spiked through.
Bro, I was pissed.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I was so mad. Like, the Twitter situation and, oh, I was so mad that day.
Go ahead. Speak on it, girl. Speak on it. What was you mad about? It's alright. We're all adults here.
I guess, and I think obviously it should be noted that I am the only female that was on this team.
You were the only woman on this team.
Only female, woman, broad. I don't give a fuck what you want to call it. It was me. Okay? And so, we are 3 different people, 3 different brains, 3 different lives, 3 different energies, 3 different anything, and that matters. When it comes to in working on teams and being groups, you have to remember that we are a team, but we are all individuals at the end of the day. And as it began to start to take a different turn, as before I break up. Just kidding. I was joking. But anyway, before that though, I would never forget that shit on Twitter.
Bruh.
This young lady really popped up out of nowhere and said what she said on Twitter. But here's the thing about me and working with me or whatever, right? I think the beauty of working with someone like me is that if we are on familiar terms, we can be familiar and family, and we can also get it together and get each other together and keep the business.
But it takes honesty.
It does take honesty, and it takes realness, and it takes obviously the top of this conversation, communication. So we was promoting, and I wanted to push us and promote us. I'm always gonna push us and promote us on the socials, especially even still with because this is top in quarantine when they were all like, oh, you know, what black business do you work with? What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, push yourself. We're doing a follow train.
It was a whole thread.
It was a thread. Exactly. That was the time of threads. That's what I'm getting to. Yeah.
Where a lot of people were in the thread paying attention to what
so
was
it was
said
just like
and who
it
was
was
saying it.
There were, you know, literally every day on Twitter, it seemed like it was like, hey, like, what black businesses, what black movements are out here?
Around the time of the protests.
Around the time of the protests as well. So, like, there's a lot of things, a lot of people are reading to work with other people. A lot of people were looking and hoping to work with, and be down with, you know, millennials or whatever we are, Z's, X's, Gen Z's, X's, but people wanted to work with people in the area, in the city. There was a lot of threads, a lot of follow trains, because I'm old, so I'm going to call it that. But yeah, there was a lot of those. And this young lady came out of no fucking where.
And she was comfortable.
Bro, and so, but here's the tea. When you are a woman working with two men, things happen and come with it. You know what I'm saying? So you need to have balls. You need to be tough. You need to expect, you know, outsiders might think of certain things and fabricate things and be curious about things when it has nothing to do with the project and what the message is. But you know, hey, it comes with the business, period. No matter what you do, you know, whenever you're trying to do something good, you're gonna have some dickheads in your fucking way. But case in point.
Dickheads will always be a funny comment, no matter what.
It's great. Come on.
It's top tier disrespect.
You know, I mean, come on. Exactly. I mean, you could get real Jersey with it, and you know, there's always gonna be a cocksucker in the fucking way. But I said that for juice. I said that for Jersey.
We be sounding like real mob folks in this combo.
You know, I said that for Jersey.
Yeah.
But you know, she made an accusation on social media, and she made it to me. And that's another thing, being a woman working with men. People will try to, especially when you're such a close-knit type group, type squad. And you know, just like even with DJs, you look at DJs, you know, somebody made a joke on Twitter yesterday about how people love to keep coming up to the DJ booth with the request, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and people are trying to justify, and it's like, niggas is at work, what are you doing?
Like, no, that's wild about you. So it's kind of no different than that, even when you are an event planner, party promoter, you know, and that's the things that we do. That's what we were doing with Get Home Safe. We were party planners, and we were event planners. We were throwing things. We were the promoter niggas at one point. And so this young lady really thought, after I had sat there, because they were like, oh yeah, who's doing what in the community? It was one of those threads, who's doing what in the community. So me being the great social media persona that I am, I was like, oh yeah, you feel me? Get Home Safe, you know, this, that, and the third. We're doing great things. We're throwing functions, and we're having events for adults to come together, and we hope that when they come to our events that they'll leave with friends. We hope that they'll leave with phone numbers for resources to get help if they want it or if they feel that they need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's boom, boom, boom. I gave my spiel. Baby girl was like, hey, you work with an abuser.
Yeah.
You know, in the office, that's why I keep leaving the cameras, because I feel like this is my moment. I'm so excited.
Wait, you want to do that again? You want to do that again?
Yeah. Okay, ready? Ready? So listen, she said you work with an abuser. Bruh. Come on.
The close-up I just hit on that.
Yes, I'm so excited. I feel like The Office. This is great. Oh man, like, so me being who I am, I'm the...
Obviously, working with an abuser isn't funny.
It's not a joke. It's not funny.
For us, it's not funny, A, because of what we've built.
But listen, first of all, this is old, number one. This is over a year old, so suck my dick and listen to the fucking story. But listen, because we don't do that bullshit over here, so don't even fucking try it. And you can see me personally if you would like to. That's on me. But anyway, just like I had to speak to her. So like, my first thing is, as soon as I got the notification, because my notifications are always on when it comes to discussing our brand and using our hashtag, using our @name. Whenever I'm adding us, squad, team, get home safe, you know what I'm saying? When I'm doing, listen. What's the dude from Spider-Man, the mean newspaper man? What's his name?
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his
That
name.
mean man.
It's not Jameis Jonathan, right?
No, I don't know. Whatever.
Keep going.
Y'all know the mean, loud man from Spider-Man who's like, get me on the phone. Listen, I was just like that nigga. Hey, Juice, Ryan, answer. We need to have a meeting. Mm-hmm. Meeting, boardroom, fucking Michael Scott, boardroom. Like in the office, Michael Scott will tell you immediately, let's have a meeting, 15 minutes, conference room 15 minutes. And that was that. Conference 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so, again, 1 woman, 2 men, gang, squad, whatever. Mm-hmm. I get in touch with Juice first. Mm-hmm. Juice is easily more accessible because I work from home. Juice, is where he is, where I'm able to call him, because this is at the time where Juice was still, I know him. And I knew his velvet schedule. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I called Juice. I'm like, yo, have you fucking seen Twitter? He was like, actually, I was about to put up a post. No. Fuck the post. Check this shit now. Sent the screenshots, sent the photos. What is going on? Who is this? What's happening? Juice says, I don't know.
Don't hear my voice.
Our third,
I don't know.
Our third person, Ryan, he was working, obviously, saving lives, doing research, mm-hmm. being in academia, doing what he does. Great. Well, when it comes to, brand and stuff like that, we are in the times of, you have to move so quickly, carefully, and consciously when someone accuses you mm-hmm. of something. Yeah. We literally just sat here and talked about brand. I'm a person, I just told you I work with social media. I said that to you already. Listen, we do not fuck around, especially when I'm on your team. That's not mm-hmm. happening. So listen, what's up? What do we do? So, because she made such a strong accusation, listen, I can't tell you and your conglomerates and your squads and your teams how to move. I can only tell you how me and my team is going to move, period. So when I saw the accusation, I contacted her because as a woman, and as someone making such a strong and detrimental accusation, I wanted to reach out to her and get her side. I will never deny anyone that is a victim of any type of abuse. I've always been a person who's willing to listen. And even though it was Twitter, I wasn't going to be no different. Even though I don't know her from a can of paint, it's not going to be no different. So I asked the young lady, I was like, do you want to talk to me? Would you like to say something to me about, what you said? And so, boom, we was in the DMs. I'm letting her let her shit off. So what ended up happening was we found out that this young lady is a ex of our third party of our person, because we're all individual parties, you know what I'm saying? But of our third person in mm-hmm. our conglomerate, in our group, I found out that she was an ex. She was an old flame. They used to date. They used to talk, which is always missing. So, and
she was doing this to get in contact with her.
She was doing this for, number one, attention. She was frustrated because she could not get in contact with Sir Ryan.
Sir Ryan.
And Lothario, if you will. Romeo, if you will. Can't say he don't got no bitches, because that damn sure ain't no truth into that, okay? Because he got them. Okay?
That summer.
He got them. Excuse me. Well, that summer he had the bitches. No, sorry. But anyway,
but it's nasty. It's nasty.
It was nasty because it went from, someone saying something so dangerous, reckless, just, and then on top of it, for it to be just, you know, for attention and for her just to have this man call her back.
But she never wanted to publicly apologize.
And never wanted to publicly apologize. Never wanted to, you know, oh, well, I'm just doing this for this reason. But at the same time, again, when it comes to me and team, squad, gang, there's always a way to go about it. So again, I let her, you know, we had a conversation in the DMs. I was like, I'm sorry, like, what's going on? Please, I'm very, you know, just talk to me, like, what's up? And yeah, that's when I found out, you know, she got into this thing about multiple girlfriends, multiple women's. Now, mind you, in our squad, in our gang, you know, I love my friends, you know, Juice and I love him very much so. I will have his back. Ryan, I'll have his back. I even asked Juice and Ryan, you know, what is going on and what did they want it to do. So when Juice said, I don't know, okay, cool. Juice even tried to reach out to Ryan because Ryan was not responding, even though we're all very aware that, you know, he was at work, but technically we're all at fucking work. So the brand and the money don't stop. So when it comes to branding and when you have your own personal business, your own LLC, your own brand, your own name, your own whatever, like, certain things just have to get handled quickly. Yeah. So I'm just one of those people that's like, hold the fuck up, what the fuck is happening? Answer my phone calls, what's going on? So after I spoke to the young lady, because obviously I'm not going to be aware. I don't really know what happens in everyone's personal lives because we're all adults. And also it's none of my fucking business. But finally, we were able to get our conference done. We were able to chat and have a conversation, all three of us together. Conference call together as a team or whatever. You know, I was finally able to get Ryan's side and we were finally able to have a conversation. He let us both know that he was, or that he had his side taken care of, like his job was aware that this woman was making these accusations already. So his ass was covered at work. But outside of work, we're talking about, you know, what's on the socials, what's on social media or whatever. Because it's great that you're okay at work. But at the same time, we are also a part of you and a part of this. Because it includes the brand, the hashtag that we use together, the where we post together, things like that. It's just important, especially because when we do things in the community, that's not acceptable. You know, any type of accusation like that is not acceptable. So any type of claim like that is not acceptable either. So we got the truth, we got his side, we got the tea, we got it all. We got it all worked out, we got it figured out. The plan was taken care of, but it just, what hurt my feelings in this situation was this selfishness involved. There was a level of selfishness that hurt my feelings because as a person that is doing the social media, the person that is creating our image, like, it's very important to know if shit like that is in the cut. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's for anyone to cover up, but also give me the respect to choose if I want to deal with it and or work with it anymore. That's it, that's all. But so what ended up happening was the young lady got together with a what do I want to call them?
Cabal.
What is it called?
Cabal.
Cabal?
It's cabal.
Oh, okay.
When random powers come together to make decisions, it's a cabal.
It is a cabal. Yeah. Okay, I will say that. So yeah, but they also formalized their own team, and you know, he had to deal with things on his own. Obviously his own, and it's his own issue. But at the same time, when it comes to the brand and being, you know, team members, you should definitely have good communication. So my feelings was hurt due to the lack of good communication. It kind of just got swept under the rug that first day. Oh, well, yeah, I know her. She does this. You know, me and her used to date. We used to talk. It used to be like this, but she needs to get over it. Okay, yeah, but flag on the play, timeout. We don't know, shorty.
Yeah.
We don't know the background. We don't know what was going on. All we know is what she said on the social, and she needs to either take it down or something, because this is not acceptable. You know, like seeing something like that is just not acceptable. So later it was taken down. I spoke to her. She let me know that what the story was. I did get her story. She let me know that her and him broke up nastily, or she found out that he was dating other women. It hurt her feelings. She's reacting, and she wanted me to send a message. But let me tell you something. I sent the message. I spoke with, Ryan or whatever. I'm like, so what are we doing? What are we moving? He was like, well, he's not worried about it. He's going to speak to her. And I was like, okay, well, this is dangerous. Like, this is not okay. Like, this needs to be together. Now, mind you, it also hurts my feelings because this was the second time that this had happened, in a sense. And as far as old girlfriend getting upset because she's not getting attention because we're busy working and planning. And then she sees that, like, I'm a part of the group. So obviously she's going to try to talk to me woman to woman. I get it. Because even the other situation where the other young lady was like, oh, well, what do you do? I see that you're the only girl here. So what do you do? What is your job? And it's just like, well, first of all, why do you feel so comfortable to approach me? Number one. That's what hurts my feelings, because you're not approaching anyone else. When I was on Twitter, outside of the other story that I was going to tell, when I was on Twitter and the first incident happened, both their names was added. Ryan and Juice's names were added as well. But you don't go for Ryan. You literally single me out. So, excuse me, that hurts my feelings just because I'm not here for none of this. My job is in social media. I'm a planner. I am more so behind the scenes. So you coming at me, and then on top of it to be the second woman that is associated with Ryan to come at me disrespectfully, it hurts my feelings. So
business. Gotta keep business.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
gotta keep the main.
Like, no love was lost. There was no upset or no anything like that. Yeah. But at the same time, we had a whole
talk after.
For sure. We definitely all had a conversation as a family, as friends, as a squad, as a team, as business persons, as people in business with each other. We definitely had a conversation. I made it very clear to Ryan and Juice that I cannot be y'all's women's security. Keep your girlfriends, your women's, your side pieces, your sneaky links, whatever they're called these days. That's on you, because I've never brought any of that riffraff to any of these functions. But that is the second time, where even the first time, our first Get Home Safe, a young lady approached me and was like, oh, well, Juice and Ryan want me back here to pour the champagne. And first of all, it was sparkling cider, so she needed to pump her brakes, number one. Number two, I was like, well, that's not my job anyway. I put the event together, and I'm just here to be here and to eat the M&Ms and drink the sparkling cider. That's what I'm here for. I am in attendance, just like you're in attendance. But I'm glad that you have a special job that makes you feel so good and helps you sleep well at night, that it's your job to pour the sparkling cider for everyone. Great. On that. So that was a little awkward because she was a personal close friend of Ryan's. So, but at the same time, you know how it is. Sometimes women kind of like jump the gun because they want to like let it be known that they're present. I personally don't care. You're not paying me. You're not the person who set this up. I am. Hello. So with that being said, so though that situation was awkward and separate, but the beauty is I'm very glad and happy to have worked with some great people, to have gotten closer to these two guys, to get to know these two guys. Funny story, I will say though. When we were dealing with this situation from Twitter or whatever.
Funny stories are always necessary.
The funny story about that is I called Juice, and Juice says, well, he's my best friend. I should know everything. I don't understand. Who is this girl? Who is this girl? Who's this lady? Who is this? Who is she?
Which is a very understandable statement.
Like, who is she? Like, I don't understand why I'm not familiar with who she is and why she's saying such outlandish claims. Like, why hasn't my friend told me that this woman that he's seeing has these tendencies to be very, concerning when she does not get attention from Ryan. And I was like, I don't know, Juice, but we need to figure out what's going on and what it is, because this is not acceptable. And so, like, again, like I said, I was able to speak to Juice first. But then
Juice.
Right, but then, like, we were able to speak with Ryan. We were able to get, you know, the stories aligned, the truths aligned, and then we realized and learned that they were just, you know, recently broken up, and there's some upset in that he was doing what most men do when they break up with women, which is ignore her and
give it distance.
You know, even though I technically should have been updated on such relationship, I wasn't, and it's all good. We worked it out. Everything's fine. Again, like I said, the post was deleted, and I directed people who need to talk to certain people to talk to certain people. And that's what it was. But
how important are relationships to the work that we do?
I feel like relationships are extremely important.
The reason I ask is you have post get home safe and, you know, after get home safe. So what are your feelings right now? Like, we've done a great job of being friends, but what does the friendship look like? Like, has it been maintained? Do people usually maintain relationships after business? Speak on that.
I think that's important when you work with people. You know, yeah, of course, business is business, but I think there's a certain level of respect, because it's not like you do business with somebody and you throw them away like it's a bag, a plastic bag or something. And when you do business with somebody, there's a chance that you'll probably need them and their services again. Or they might offer new services, and you might need those new services. You might not need the old services anymore. So, you know, I feel like it depends. But based upon us as a three together, just us three closely, I think that we've done a good job of maintaining relationships, because the funny thing is I technically have spoken to Ryan recently because I needed assistance with my own situation at work. As we all know, I had to go through something with my health at work, and I had to fill out paperwork, and I had to prove to them that my mental capacity is still strong enough to maintain my security clearance. So even though, you know,
is a nasty story.
I know. So even though, you know, Ryan might have hurt my feelings with this situation about the young lady, and the fact that, you know, it just seems that Ryan's women likes to come for Coop. I don't know why, but hey, you know me. You know me.
Yeah, you be trying to stay out the way. You was like, hey, man, I'm just in the room.
I just work here, bro.
Yeah.
You just here to work. I don't even know what you're talking about as far as all the relationship stuff. But either way, point of the matter is, like, when it came down to it, Ryan and I ended up having a conversation, and I'm appreciative that, you know, there was an apology. And
he really did take care of it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that, you know, whatever situation he had with that young lady, however she was feeling left out, or she didn't like that they broke up the way that they broke up, I'm glad that, you know, on my behalf and on behalf of the brand itself, you know, Ryan stepped up and he handled it. It wasn't like he was just like, oh yeah, you know, ignore her, you know, block her and everything. No. Like, I told him that I spoke to her. I let him know what she revealed to me and how she feels about their relationship and what she's looking from him or whatever. Because, I mean, I'm going to listen to you. Whatever. I'm going to hear you out. As long as, of course, obviously, there's no threats on my end and things like that. I have no issue. But I made it very clear. Or at least I feel like I tried to make it very clear to you and Ryan that when it comes to y'all women's, listen, I got y'all back until a certain line.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like in order to protect our brand, I'm going to do what I need to do in order to make sure the brand and the business is fine and safe. But at the same time, like, y'all gotta do better with the women.
People. You're still people.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure to make the right decisions in life. It can't just be, well, I have this thing to protect. It's like, all right, well, are you being humane to the people in your life? Because, that matters.
So, but anyway, since then, though, I have actually spoken with Ryan. Actually, he was one of the people that I contacted before my situation last November. I asked him about how do I go about utilizing my insurance to help me find a therapist. I actually reached out to Ryan for that and asked him, what insurance might look like, just because I know he's a therapist and I know he has a private practice and I know that he knows what that's like. So I've been able to contact and reach out to Ryan to ask him for advice and ask him for what I should look for. And he's even told me, like, hey, in your search for a therapist, make sure they ask you, or make sure you feel comfortable. He just told me the things that I should look for in order to have a good therapist, and I'm very appreciative and grateful for.
So your work in the mental health brand was PR, but when it came to finding a therapist, we had specific people who knew how to handle that and walk you through a process.
Exactly. When it came to find my own personal therapist,
Because what you'll find is a lot of folks is like, oh, you run a mental health brand, so you're a mental health person. It's like, no, I ran the brand and I did specifically this job, but that doesn't mean that being a part of a mental health brand doesn't make me an advocate.
Exactly.
I will stand for those when it comes to mental health situations, but don't pour your problems on me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Sorry.
Totally. It's just great that even though, we had this mission and we had these goals and these hopes and these dreams that we wanted to share with the area, the city, we wanted to help people. We knew what we wanted to do. But personally, definitely I definitely am able, and I still on occasion do reach out to Ryan and ask him for advice. Even when it came down to my job and, what I had to go through with work and the mental evaluation that I had to get taken care of. Like, I was able to ask Ryan about it. And he was very helpful in helping with my concerns and answering the questions that really scared me. And he provided a sense of comfort when I was going through what I was going through with even my own job.
Yeah.
So, I'm very grateful and appreciative. And, we've had our awkward moments, even when I remember when you were trying to make me and Ryan talk to each other in our group chat. Let me tell you something.
Talk.
Juice would be like, be friends. Be friends. Talk. You two be friends. Be friends with each other.
Well, no.
Well, no, it wasn't yes, but no.
Yes, but no. So what happened was I thought my friends were friends. That's a dangerous mistake I think a lot of people make. If I put my friends in the room and we work together long enough, they're friends now. And at a certain point, I had to be like, oh, you guys are friends with me, and you guys are great associates together because of me, but that doesn't make a friendship. And that was definitely a mistake I made, because I was like, oh, there's more I could have done to foster this relationship. But we always had work. And we always did such a great job doing the work that we never had to think about the relationship side of things that might be missing in the room. Yeah. Because we always did a good job. Yeah. When you do a good job, you're not going to see it. Yeah. And we work well together. When shit goes bad, that's when it's like, oh, I see it.
Yeah. And we work well together. So obviously, because we work well together, we can sit down and make certain decisions as a group and as friends and as people and as associates and stuff. That's how it was. But when it came to the personal, we were not all there together. Yeah. And that's okay, because we realized and we learned to work through it. It was what it was. And, again, communication and being able to express one's comfort and one's uncomfort or miscomfort, not comfort. The big child. Uncomfortable, whatever. Yeah. We were able to do that successfully. And I think that that's important, working on a team and with groups. And I think that we executed that.
Yeah. All right. Well, where can the folks find you if they're looking for you and your services? What are the services that you're offering? Go to the top of the key. It's about to be 4:00, so you got to make a call. I totally forgot. Oh. Yeah.
What time is it?
It's 3:47.
Oh. Okay. I'll make a call. Okay. Well, you can find me on Well, if you want me to work with you on your branding and your image consulting and develop your social media, you can get to me at my email, which is Coop's Merp.
Do you want to spell that?
Oh, wait. Is that my email? What's my email?
I don't know. It's your
I
email.
don't remember my email.
It's your email. Come on.
Oh, right.
got this.
Okay.
Come
I remember.
on.
Sorry. Okay. Tired. Need coffee. And my blood sugar's running low.
Yeah,
but anyway.
I gotta get you some cookies before you leave and some soda.
I know.
I could see it. I'm like, cookies.
Because I'm starting to slow down. Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, see, that's important. Your friends know your shit. Exactly. And people you work with should know your shit too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, coopsmerp@gmail.com. Social media is Coop the Creator on Twitter and Instagram. By all means, follow. Let me know.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go grab cookies and soda. See, look at that. Look at that.
It's beautiful.
Look at that. Look at it.
Get you one.
Get
yourself.
Pre-orders.
Get it.
Pre-orders.
Put it in your car.
You know what I'm doing. Put it in the coffee, you know what I mean? Let them know.
Put it in the car. Press pay. Apple Pay.
Press pay.
PayPal. This is nice. I love you. I love you.